Here.
Mr. Loretto.
Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Berthold. Here. Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Paul.
Here.
Mr. Magno.
All members of council are here and accounted for with the exception of Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion that we excuse Greg from Mr. Metcalf from this meeting.
Second. It's been regularly moved and seconded that Mr. Metcalf be excused from tonight's council meeting. Roll call.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Loretto.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Ms. Berthold. Aye. Mr. Paul.
Aye.
Mr. Magno.
Aye.
So moved, Mr. Metcalf will be excused from tonight's council meeting. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor, I move that the minutes of August 18th, 2015 and August 25th, 2015 be accepted as written.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that the minutes of August 18th, 2015 and August 25th, 2015 be accepted as written. Roll call.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Loretto.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Ms. Berthold. Aye. Mr. Paul.
Aye.
Mr. Magno.
Aye.
So moved, minutes accepted. Petitions and communications, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I have a letter dated August 24th from the city of Steubenville regarding sending criminals a stern message, withdrawal of offer of assistance. Dear Steubenville public officials, as mentioned to you in prior communications, September 14th, 2013 and August 5th, 2015, I'd offered free assistance and input to the city administration concerning the out-of-control violent crime, drug trafficking, and firearm violence that has been steadily escalating and plaguing the city for almost the past 2 decades. As mentioned, the assistance was based upon 20 years' experience, knowledge, and successful prosecution of drug dealers and violent criminals in the Steubenville area. The motivation for offering the assistance was the fact that I and my former drug enforcement officer, although now living outside of the area, nevertheless have friends and relatives who still reside in the area. Since leaving the area, we have constantly received verbal and written communications from people in the area that have asked us to offer assistance and maybe, just for a small period of time, go back to the future. As you are probably aware, although my drug enforcement officer and I have left the area, many members of my former staff, most of which received prosecutor training from me during my tenure as prosecutor, hold positions or have been elected to judicial positions at home. These include a Jefferson County Common Pleas judge who recently retired, a current Jefferson County Common Pleas judge, and a former county court judge, a former elected prosecuting attorney and current Common Pleas court judge in a neighboring county, the current chief prosecuting attorney in another Ohio county, and various individuals who served on my administrative staff and are now employed as administrators in various Common Pleas courts. Having never received the simple courtesy of a response to our free and genuine offers of assistance, and from recent events which convincingly envision the antiquated, incompetent, and uncaring attitude that local public officials seem to have toward vigorous prosecution and the protection of the citizenry, it is clear that our vigorous approach toward criminal justice would not coincide with the local approach toward criminal justice. As an example, I would direct your attention to the case of Robert Lee Miller, who appeared in the Steubenville Municipal Court today on an arraignment for allegedly brutally attacking a woman at the Hollywood Boulevard Kroger during a robbery. According to news reports, the random and gruesome event left the victim with injuries described as the worst they've seen in a long time. Also, according to news reports, Miller was also arrested in August 2014 at his home on Lavender for 2 counts of trafficking in heroin. From looking at news reports of a year ago, the arrest of Miller for heroin drug trafficking received a multitude of publicity after a search warrant discovered stockpiles of ammunition, guns, money, and heroin. Children were also present in the Miller home that was raided. After the media parade, however, it appears that the heroin trafficking case never made it to the Common Pleas court system and no criminal indictments were returned. Had this occurred and Miller had been properly prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced, then he wouldn't have been around to commit the heinous assault and robbery to which he was arraigned today. It also appears that a Robert L. Miller was indicted by the Jefferson County Grand Jury on October 5, 2011 on 2 felony counts of having weapons while under disability. That means that he had a prior felony at that time also. At the conclusion of my letter of August 5, 2015 to you, I stated, if the city administration desires at a future date to reevaluate its outlook, stance, and demeanor towards criminal activity and drug dealings in the city and desires our free services, please feel free to contact us. Your approach to crime and punishment of those that threaten to harm citizens of the community appears to be an aberration to good government and criminal justice. Therefore, please disregard my prior offers of free assistance. Sincerely, Stephen M. Stern.
Who was Stevie? Steve Stern. That good? Steve, all the way.
Your Honor, I'd like to make,
Mr. Davis.
yes, I'd like to make a motion, Your Honor, to make that letter a part of these proceedings this evening.
Second.
It's been already moved and seconded that communication received, file, made part of the minutes. Roll call.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kurtolo? Aye. Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Bill Magna?
Aye.
So moved. Communication accepted. Other communications and petitions, Madam Clerk.
No, sir.
We will now move into the ordinances and resolutions before City Council, and we'll start off with ordinance number 2015-77 by the Recreation Committee, Mr. Davis, Mr. Paul, Mr. Bill Magna, for its second reading.
Ordinance number 2015-77, an ordinance authorizing and designating the city manager as the local official with the authority to execute the project known as Bellevue Municipal Pool Slide Repair, City Project number 2013-144, and complete all necessary functions that may be required to complete said project, including but not limited to engineering design services, construction, administration, inspection services, bidding services, advertising for bids for construction, rebidding, entering into a contract with the lowest and most qualified bidder, and authorizing payment therefor.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2015-77. The third and final reading is scheduled for September 15th. If adopted by City Council, the effective date of the ordinance will be October 6th. Ordinance number 2015-78 by the Building and Grounds Committee, Ms. Kurtolo, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Davis, for its second reading.
Ordinance number 2015-78, an ordinance authorizing the sale of real estate owned by the city of Steubenville, being lot numbers 2 and 3 in John Fisher's addition to Solid Rock Realty Company in the amount of $4,600.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2015-78. The third and final reading is scheduled for September 15th. If adopted by City Council, the effective date will be October 16th. Ordinance number 2015-79 by the Planning Committee, Ms. Kurtolo, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Davis, for its second reading.
Ordinance number 2015-79, an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to advertise for bids for the sale of city-owned property located at the corner of Garfield Avenue and Sunset Boulevard by sealed bid and subject to bid specifications.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2015-79. The third and final reading is scheduled for September 15th. If adopted by City Council, the effective date will be October 16th. Ordinance number 2015-80 by the Finance Committee, Mr. Metcalf, Mr. Davis, Mr. Johnson.
Ordinance number 2015-80, an ordinance authorizing the selling of personal property owned by the city of Steubenville and no longer needed for municipal purposes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion at this time to waive the second and third readings for the reasons I gave last week, so that we can get this auction in before the weather changes.
Second.
Been ready moved and second that the second and third reading of ordinance number 2015-80 be suspended. Roll call.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kurtolo? Aye. Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Bill Magna?
Aye.
So moved. Second and third reading will be suspended. For clarification, will the clerk please read the ordinance number and the caption again? We'll have to vote on the passage of the ordinance.
Ordinance number 2015-80, an ordinance authorizing the selling of personal property owned by the city of Steubenville and no longer needed for municipal purposes.
I will now call for public comments on ordinance number 2015-80. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address. If not,
Question.
roll call.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DeLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Curto?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2015-80, duly adopted. Ordinance number 2015-81 by the Finance Committee, Mr. Makeup, Mr. Davis, Mr. Johnson, for its first reading.
Ordinance number 2015-81, ordinance amending ordinance number 2015-15 the existing table of organization of the city of Steubenville.
You heard the first reading of ordinance number 2015-81. Its second reading will be 2 weeks hence on September 15th. Right now, scheduled for the third final reading on September 29th. If adopted, October 30th will be the effective date. Ordinance number 2015-82 by the Public Utilities Committee, Mr. Makeup, Mr. DeLoretto, Ms. Curdaw, for its first reading.
Ordinance number 2015-82, an ordinance adopting new rules and regulations of the Department of Utilities water section for the city of Steubenville.
You heard the first reading of ordinance number 2015-82. Its second reading is scheduled on September 15th. Third and final reading is scheduled for September 29th. If adopted, the effective date will be October 30th.
Mayor,
Yes,
could I ask you a question about that? Will we put that in the paper, and will we put the new rules in the paper or anything? On the
I think
website?
Councilman Maggie, the website might be the most accurate. Put it out there.
It will be published on the website.
Yeah, before we vote, I mean, before.
Oh, yeah, and then there'll be public comments on the third and final reading also. And of course, under the public forum, they can ask questions on any of these.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that yeah.
I believe there was copies available this evening also for the public.
Thank you.
We will now move on to resolution number 2015-83 by council as a whole.
Resolution number 2015-83, a resolution proclaiming the month of September 2015 as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month.
I do know that it was not called for by city council to read this particular resolution in its entirety, but it is really a serious matter, especially in our particular area. If there's no objections, I would like the clerk to read the resolution. Hearing no objections, the clerk will read the resolution in its entirety. I want to thank council.
Resolution number 2015-83, a resolution proclaiming the month of September 2015 as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, whereas prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed non-skin cancer in men and the second leading cause of cancer deaths in men. And whereas every day approximately 240,000 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer in the United States alone every year, one man every 2.63 minutes, roughly 30,000 die each year from the disease. One man every 17.52 minutes. And whereas 1 in 7 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer, African American men are at the highest risk for the disease with a rate of 1 in 4 men. African American men are 2.5 times more likely to die from the disease. And whereas education regarding prostate cancer and early detection strategies is critical to saving lives and preserving and protecting our families. And whereas all men are at risk for prostate cancer, and we encourage the citizens of Steubenville to increase the importance of prostate screenings. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Steubenville, county of Jefferson, state of Ohio, that this council does hereby proclaim the month of September 2015 as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and that this resolution shall take effect and be in full force immediately upon its passage in the council, otherwise at the earliest period allowed by law.
Mr. Paul.
Yes, Your Honor. I make a motion to resolution number 2015-83 be adopted by roll call.
It's been rarely moved and seconded that resolution number 2015-83 be adopted by roll call. Before we have roll call on this ordinance, is there anyone wishing to speak on resolution number 2015-83? Please come forward, state your name and address. If not, roll call.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. DeLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Curto?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
So moved. Resolution number 2015-83 Totally adopted. I will conclude the ordinances and resolutions before City Council this evening. We will now move into the report of committees, and we'll start off with Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor, I have two things this evening. First of all, I want to announce that next week, September 9th, on Wednesday at 7 o'clock at the Bellevue Clubhouse, we will resume our recreation board meetings after not having a quorum last month, being off the month before as well. So, next Wednesday, that's next Wednesday at 7 o'clock, September 9th. I'll repeat it again next week. Also, there's three organizations in Jefferson County, Steubenville, that have gotten together, Steubenville. The Urban Mission, the Steubenville Health Department, and the Steubenville Park and Rec Department have put together a citywide day of play to join us for Fun and Family Field in observance of National Childhood Obesity Awareness Month. This will be held Saturday, September 19th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Bellevue Park. Admission is free. Okay, and I will also remind you of that next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. We'll continue on with the report of committees from the members of council. Mr. Diarretto.
No report.
Thank you, Mr. Diarretto. Mr. Johnson.
No reports.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Curdaw.
Yes, Your Honor, I have two. One up under beautification, up under Pride Committee, actually, the subcommittee is beautification on September 10th. We will be having a meeting. It will be at 11:30 a.m. and it will be over at the conference room in the city building. And the items on the agenda is our second annual month sale and the holiday activities that will be coming up that will be spearheaded by the beautification committee. And second, reminder that this next Monday is the holiday, and so the Planning and Zoning Committee that would be on Monday is now pushed back to September 14th at 7 p.m. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Curdaw. We'll continue on with the report of committees from the members of council. Mr. Paul.
Yes, Your Honor, I have several items. First of all, as we discussed earlier in the meeting today, on our safety committee meeting, I'm sorry, we had some pretty good, there was a very good productive meeting, and I want to thank everybody involved for that and everybody who attended. First of all, I would like to send a letter to State Representative Jack Sarah, urging passage in the Ohio House of the Violent Criminal Act, also known as Senate Bill 97. And also, I'd like to send a letter to Governor Kasich urging him for the appointment of John Massio to municipal court judge that he was duly elected, and there's no obstacles in his way. I think we need to get him in there sooner than later. Secondly, I'd like to thank, and he's not here, he left, Chief Capaldi on his hard work in securing a grant from the Homeland Security Department funding on the purchase of a new fire truck, which is something that was needed. Our other fire truck is 28 years old. And last, I would like to schedule a safety meeting, and I'm going to throw this out, everybody. Do we want to do the 29th or the 6th of October? It would be 4 weeks from today would be the 29th. The 6th would be 5 weeks. We never got to Officer Scott, wherever he went. I think he left. I don't blame him. But yes, the chief has some good points tonight. Officer Scott, we never got to hear from. I think we need to, and I'd like to schedule it at 6 o'clock. Also, I'd like to bring in newly elected Judge Massey to talk about some items that Mr. Diarretto and I have been discussing. And I will speak with Mr. Massey before this, but I would hope you would put that on the agenda. I will talk to you about that.
Yeah, if I could.
Go ahead, sir.
Councilman Paul, I know that our health commissioner, Shalita Smith, wanted to make a presentation, but was looking to do that on the
The 22nd, but I can do it on the 6th. I just can't do it on the 29th because I'll be at a
Okay.
public health conference.
Okay.
Is that okay? That's fine. We'll go on the 6th then. Okay, we'll do October 6th. We'll have our safety committee meeting. Thank you, Shalita.
That's 6.
6th of October. Yes.
At 6.
At 6, yes, we'll do, yes, sir.
Thank you.
5:30?
It'd be time between, if the health is going to present the
Okay.
feasibility study, and and we have to talk to Judge-elect Massey.
Okay,
There's
good
a
point.
timeline of legislative and traditional judicial branches. He's not there yet.
Right.
We want to talk to him, make sure no ethic violations are happening.
Okay.
This guy's sitting there giving that. But let's say 5:30.
Okay.
Okay, the clerk, first of all, will facilitate a safety committee meeting scheduled for October 6th at 5:30. And she will facilitate the proper notices to the media for said scheduled meeting. And we already know 3 of the subjects. Mr. Paul, just to follow up with your request, a letter requesting, because we already know that it passed the Senate, and our Senator Lou Gentile supported the bill that's talked about, it was Senate Bill 97, but a letter encouraging our state representative also to support same legislation. And I think a letter should also be forwarded to the Speaker of the House out of common courtesy of the House of Representatives. But hearing no objections, council will send a letter asking our state representatives to support whatever version of the House bill, but Senate Bill 97. Hearing no objections, it is so ordered that the clerk will facilitate a letter notifying the Speaker of the House and also our state representative. The other communication on behalf of City Council, you would like City Council to send a letter of support to the governor for the appointment of Judge-elect Mascio to take seat prior to his official date starting as soon as possible. Tomorrow morning would be great.
Couldn't have said it better.
To take the bench as soon as possible, and I will ask the clerk to take concerns of ours out of the safety committee letter to create the correspondence to the governor on the hardship that is placing on the city and the consistency we need in municipal court to address criminal problems within our community. Hearing no objections, the clerk will be ordered to send the governor a letter asking for the appointment of Judge-elect Massey. Hearing no objections, it is so ordered. Anything further, Mr. Paul?
But thank you very much, Ron.
Thank
helped
you
me very much.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. We will now move on to committee reports to Mr. Bill Magna.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Bill Magna. I want to take this opportunity before we move into our city manager, the administrative reports. I want to take this opportunity to touch upon something that happened here not too long ago. I was invited to attend a youth workers network meeting at Starkdale Presbyterian Church. I was invited by Pastor Bobby John Bowman, who is with us this evening. He came to my office. We had a very good discussion on some of the activities that is happening within our community and within Jefferson County. Realizing after that conversation and being excited about a lot of the events that are being planned by the school districts, the churches, and a whole group of youth within our community, I was excited. But I attended the meeting, not this past Monday before, at the Starkdale Presbyterian Church. When I walked in, the room was full of young individuals that truly have the heart of the community, truly have faith in church and our community. And I left there with such a good feeling. It was unbelievable. But just to give you a perspective of the meeting, here's the agenda. It's not just one page, but it's 2 pages. And it's talking about the youth of our community, and I believe there's about 20 different events planned throughout, not only the citywide day of play that you're making reference to and all, but throughout our community and throughout Jefferson County. But what was remarkable about the meeting, and I'm going to give this to you, Pastor, to follow up with some remarks. But what was remarkable is I sat there and listened, and I got so encouraged of the positive vibes and what was coming from the youth of our community. And not once, not twice, not 2, 3, 4 times, but repeatedly I heard the youth getting up saying, I can't believe that people say there's nothing to do while we have this going on at our church, or we have this event happening on the streets, or we have this going on. I left there so encouraged, and especially about the youth of our community. I have invited Pastor down tonight to give us a brief insight and an update on exactly where we're moving forward with our youth in the Ohio Valley, within Jefferson County and the city of Steubenville. The networking group is the Valley Youth Workers Network Group. So I want to introduce Pastor Bobby Johns. I know you get no applause, but I do that anytime somebody.
Sir, well, thank you, Your Honor.
Maybe step over to the, or bring it over to your side.
Well, around 3 years ago today is when I first came to Steubenville, and that was right in the midst of all the mess that was going on. And so I got a subscription to the Herald Star, read it through every single day for the last 3 years, and thinking, how can I make a difference in our community? And as a result of doing that, I said, I can't do it myself. The problems are too deep, there's too much going on. And so I thought, I got to start an organization where we can pull together some community organizations as well as churches to see if we can make a difference in the lives of youth here in the Steubenville area. And what we started was what's called the Valley Youth Workers Network. And what it is it's a conglomeration or a number of area church youth ministry leaders as well as community agencies that get together to plan events in the city that are positive for you. Some are Christian-based, others are not Christian-based. We're just trying to help out because we've got a problem and we need some solutions. And the thing is, we're starting to see a sea change happening recently. And the organization's been around for about 3 years, or 2.5 years now. And we've had in individuals such as Daryl Strawberry came in to speak at an event. We also had in Reggie Dabbs, who speaks to over 2 million students a year. He spoke to 6,000 students in the various school districts around the county. We have rallies that take place every 2 months. We have Maurice Claret coming in from the Ohio State Buckeyes. In a couple of weeks, that's going to speak down at the Big Red Auditorium. And we've had various groups that have bands and singers and dance groups. And so they're able to use their talents and do something positive in the community. And we usually have around 350 kids that come to these events, and they're at Big Red High School. And I'm just going to share one other neat aspect, that at our meetings, as the mayor had mentioned, we have around 40 people now, because Margarita Fila, some of you all know her, but she and I just said, we're just going to hit the streets. So we went and met face-to-face with 40 different individuals throughout the city, the mayor, Mrs. Kirkdahl as well, a number of others here as well. And we said, what are some problems? How can we help you, and how can you help us? And as a result of that, we've gained a lot of information, made a lot of connections. We have a handbook that we've handed out to individuals that have over 60 different agencies that we refer people to when they have a problem within the city, so that we can give them assistance and send them in the right direction. And one really exciting thing that's taking place recently is the mentoring program. And that's through United Way, through Big Brothers and Big Sisters, through the courts. We met with Fred Abdullah Jr. as well as Judge Karabi. And he didn't even know a lot of the mentoring things were going on in the city. So we referred him to, for example, the Off the Hook ministry that takes kids fishing who have never been fishing in their life. And you might have seen in the paper a couple of days ago, we had a number of business owners, maybe some are here tonight, that purchased fishing equipment just to have to mentor kids and take them out, give them a positive experience. And also, they are starting a mentoring program at the high school now. And Angelita Forte is in charge of that, doing a great job. And so we're, United Way is working with that, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, the courts are working with that, the Valley Youth Workers Network is working with that, to try and get some mentors for these kids, so that they can have a positive role model in their lives to send them in the right direction. And just a couple of agencies, we work with the United Way, the Fishers Council, who painted at the marina. They have a Young Ironmen and Sister Services programs for youth. The Man Up program, mentoring program, Franciscan University partners with us. The Pride group with Ed and Vicki Littlejohn, the Laws Movement with Cookie West, Brightway Center with Daryl Griffin, and the schools have started even coming to our meetings now. They send representatives also, and the courts are also sending individuals to our meetings. I'm going to close with just a couple quick stories, and then I'll leave you go, because I know sometimes meetings can get long. That's one of the things we do with our meetings. We keep it from just a 1 hour. We try anyway, because a lot of the people have younger kids that are youth pastors in the city. They're in their early mid-20s, and so they try and get home. But just a couple quick stories. One is a mother had a blind child, and she needed to move from an apartment to a house, but she was of limited income and resources. So I thought, and she called me, and I said, well, I'm going to give a call to Steve Forte at the Fisher's Council. Gave a call to Steve, and he said, no problem, I'll go ahead and take care of that. He rounded up 10 or 12 young Ironmen, the group of boys that they mentor that come from difficult homes, and they moved this individual from her apartment to the house, had a pizza party afterward, and as a result of that, that young lady's life has turned around. She also is now helping them out with a sister services program, mentoring young women. And so their whole family's changed around now. The young man also is in the Ironman program. The daughter that's blind is in the sister services. So we're seeing things like that happen. We also started the Sunshine Bible Club that now has 137 kids that come every single Monday. The schools bus the kids into a central location down at Westminster Presbyterian Church. And that's an ecumenical effort with 25 different adults that meet there that help out teach kids the Bible. Because I thought we need to reach the younger generation. Because by the time kids are in high school, a lot of times it's just too late. So that's why I said we got to get something cranked up for the elementary school. Because we're just trying to make a sea change here for that. And then I'll just leave you with one last story. And that is, I saw a lot of talent in around Steubenville. But it wasn't necessarily being used in the right way. My daughter went to a dance that they had, and she ended up leaving with her boyfriend because the lyrics are so profane. The dancing was just not very great. And I tried to raise it right, and I thought we need to have some positive entertainment here for the youth of the Valley. So we started something called the Valley's Got Talent competition. And we had 20 different acts that performed, 60 individuals that tried out, and we had it at the Big Red Auditorium, and we had over 700 people there last year. And this year we're going to have it again coming up on November 8th. We're going to have Brian Johnson from the Voice television show is going to come down, and he's going to be a celebrity guest judge. And we are looking to pack the house out this year. And as a result of that, a lot of those kids that were in the finals, I've been able to send to different events that have been around. The area, the hometown day celebration, some of them sang there, and just all over the valley. Well, I'm almost done. So just want to say that don't be completely discouraged, because there are some positive things going on with you, because all these agencies are coming together. I see some of them here tonight as well, because we are trying to make a difference, and we said enough is enough. We're going to get busy, to reach the hearts of these kids. And so if you want to help out, we definitely need mentors. That's one thing we need for sure. Just contact myself or Beth Rupert Warren here. But there is hope. And maybe we aren't seeing it, right now, but I'll say in 5-10 years, because I'm looking at this as a 10-year plan. What we're doing is just, as these kids get older, we'll start seeing a change within the city. So just be in prayer for us, support us in any way you can, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you also, and I want to thank the pastor at Steubenville Presbyterian Church. When he brought you on board, I was introduced to you. That him being dynamite in himself, he has good support. I know Karen and Jody Glob are big supporters of you and Steubenville Presbyterian Church, and helps with some of the financial ways and means of accomplishing things and all. But it's really an outstanding program that you coordinated and pulled together. So our thanks to you on that. I do want to bring up, as you mentioned, September 13th, the All Valley Youth Rally with Maurice Correct. One thing you mentioned about the Ohio Valley Got Talent that's happening in November at Steubenville High School, which is great. but you didn't mention about the auditions. That
Oh, yeah.
will be happening. I believe that's on October 24th.
Yeah.
And I believe that's going to take place at the Fort Steubenville Mall.
Yeah, the center court of the Fort Steubenville Mall from 2 to 3:30.
So if anybody knows of any youth or something that would like to, the auditions are going to be happening on the 24th. But all great Christian-based events for our community and activities for the youth of our community. Thank you for attending this evening. With that, we will now, and I apologize to our city manager for interrupting or proceeding before his reports, but we'll move into the administrative reports, and we'll start with our city manager, Mr. Bowles.
Thank you, Your Honor, and no apology necessary. Just wanted to carry forward from our safety committee meeting, just very briefly, and some of the reporting inspections that have taken place in our proactive neighborhood cleanup program that's in the Hilltop area neighborhoods. We're reporting there was, or has been this year, 323 citations issued, and we're certainly working those through, and I'd encourage council to look at that report and the disposition of those citations. The Central Business District report is also, and each of you have a copy of that as well. And I believe there were 23 violations issued from our Urban Projects Department, and those are also being addressed. And then finally on the reports, there is the gateway and major corridors inspections that take place on a weekly basis. Those locations are at State Route 7 and the South Corp line, State Route 7, the North Corp line, or Corp limit, Sunset Boulevard at the West Corp limit, John Scott Highway at the North Corp limit, Lovers Lane at the North Corp limit, Lincoln Avenue and Sinclair Avenue, State Route 7, Washington Street and Sunset Boulevard, University Boulevard, Brady Avenue, Lovers Lane, John Scott Highway, the Lovers Lane connector, and the John Scott connector. And I appreciate the efforts that I think both Chris and Sean left. So I think it just let me hold in the report, but they are, and the administration is engaged in a number of routine weekly inspections in our areas throughout the city, and certainly working those very diligently. One thing, Bob, I would just ask quickly if you could give an update on our street sweeping equipment, both pieces of equipment. I'd appreciate it.
Certainly. As you know, we had a sweeper in the shop for a good bit. It was a very old piece of equipment, you know, well beyond its useful service life, so we had some extensive repairs done to it. As you are aware, I believe, unfortunately, after its return, we had a couple more, so it went back in the shop. I will say our vendor was very responsive and very accommodating, and really, you know, really stepped up and really took care of the issues. That sweeper is being returned to us tomorrow. It will be out on our normal downtown Central Business District sweeping activities in the overnight hours of Thursday night and Friday. Our new equipment is being constructed right now. Our delivery date appears to be in about 30 days. It's expected to be here about the second week of October. It's due to be, assembly is due to be complete October 1st. It will need to be prepped for pre-delivery and inspection and so forth, certainly by the 5th. So I would say within about 30 days or so, by the second week of October, that machine should be here.
Thank you, Bob. I don't know if there's any questions from council. Appreciate your diligence on that, Bob. And I just would, the last item I'd want to linger on just a bit would be ordinance 2015 82. I do know that obviously we had the first reading, and we will have that on the website, those proposed changes to our policies and procedures for our water policies. But again, I think that the administration spent a great deal of time on that, and a number of meetings, as we all know, and the effort that went into it, and really was an outgrowth of, well, for a number of reasons. One of them was certainly the performance audit. I know, Angie, you pointed out how you wanted us and expected us to fulfill that and pursue that, and we certainly took that to heart, and I think that the water policy changes are very important and a real milestone for the city, and I think are going to make a tremendous difference. So with that, Your Honor, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing no questions, we'll move on to our law director, Mr. Rapella.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Rapella. Once again, we want to thank the department heads for attending tonight's council meeting. And, you know, I neglected to mention that although I think we had an outstanding summer with all kinds of activities and gym and summer concerts across the street every Thursday, free for our residents and all. Last weekend, we also had another successful event in downtown on 4th Street. Smitty Carpeting sponsored that particular event for the youth of our community. Although I wasn't there for long, I got to attend the event. Looked like everyone, the youth and all, was enjoying the activities that were lined up. So I want to publicly thank Smitty for sponsoring the event last weekend in downtown. And quite frankly, there was a lot of events throughout our community last weekend. I was at a block party at Avenue. Just a great another weekend in our community. With that, that will conclude the administrative reports, and we will now move into miscellaneous reports. I had 3 signing in, so I'm going to take them as they signed or notified me or my office. So we'll start off with Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to comment on 2 topics that were discussed at the last council meeting during public forum. First, the safety levy. The safety levy is being portrayed as necessary and vital for the city's crime-fighting efforts. That is not true. The city has sufficient tax revenues to adequately fund the police department without the passage of the safety levy. It all boils down to priorities. Currently, the city overfunds one department, needlessly funds another department, while other departments are underfunded. Tens of thousands of dollars have been spent unwisely on various studies, and additional tens of thousands have been spent prematurely on employee raises that should have been delayed until the city's financial condition improved. The city may or may not, based on earlier conversations in the safety committee meeting, may be on the verge of committing to spend in excess of $11 million on a new safety building. The city does not need a safety levy. Rather, it needs fiscal restraint and a change of spending priorities. If the city believes it needs more police officers, it could hire a few more police officers without seeking additional tax dollars from the citizens by merely changing its spending priorities. The safety levy is not a magical silver bullet that will end crime in Steubenville. Some are concerned that layoffs will occur to the police department if the safety levy fails. There will be no layoffs in the police department if the safety levy fails. The only way layoffs would occur in the police department is for the city administration to place a low priority on crime fighting. I will oppose any layoffs to the police department. The other topic I'd like to comment on is the city's crime fighting plan. Some citizens believe the city does not have a plan and does not care about fighting crime. That is not true. The city does have a plan, and everyone cares deeply about fighting crime. We have more patrols now compared to last year. The efforts of the police department have resulted in recent arrests of several individuals that we believe were involved in the recent shootings. Numerous guns have been confiscated and taken off the streets. However, it is an uphill battle. Is the city's crime plan perfect? No. I believe the city's crime fighting plan should be modified. First and foremost, any crime fighting plan must involve getting all jail cells open at the county jail. The city should be reaching out to the county commissioners to develop a plan to open all jail cells. One plan that was floated was if the city moved its police department to the Justice Center, a majority, if not all, the funds paid by the city for rent of the Justice Center would be earmarked for the opening of additional jail cells. Unfortunately, since the city appears to be passing on the Justice Center, that idea is out. Second, we need to look to other cities and copy what is working for them. In the spring, I informed the city administration of Dayton, Ohio's youth nuisance abatement program, which allows the police to potentially shut down and close up any residential property where illegal drug activity consistently occurs. Trotwood, Ohio has a similar program. I asked the administration to contact Dayton to see if the program is a useful tool in fighting drugs and crime, and if a similar program should be adopted in Steubenville. I am still waiting for the administration to determine whether or not the program would benefit Steubenville and become part of our crime-fighting plan. Third, Councilman Villamagnus submitted a plan to hire 4 police officers without the city spending additional tax dollars. This plan was not adopted. What are the flaws of Bob's plan? Why wasn't it adopted? Unless the plan is flawed, I think it should be adopted. Finally, I encourage the city to revisit my previous suggestion that it follow the recommendations contained in the article, Officers Per Thousand, Formulas and Other Policy Myths. The authors of the article have worked with many communities across the United States to improve efficiency of the police departments in those communities. This article contains their approach to efficient policing. I want to highlight 2 of the recommendations from the article. First is setting community goals. Goal setting is a tool used by successful entities, both private and public. Toledo and Kent are just 2 cities in Ohio out of many that set goals for the police department. Steubenville should do the same. What do we have to lose? It costs nothing but time to set community goals. I believe it's worth a try, and who knows, it might work. The second recommendation from the article I would like to highlight is to review our current efficiency. Are we operating our police department in the most efficient manner? How can we do it better? Are we efficiently and effectively responding to all calls from citizens? The rank and file should be asked for their suggestions on how to be more efficient. What can the city do to help the rank and file become more efficient? Concerning the rank and file, how is the rank and file? How is their morale? If it's low, how can it be improved? Morale and productivity usually go hand in hand. A few years ago, an independent study of our police department determined the morale of the rank and file was low and the department as a whole was inefficient. Do these problems still exist? If yes, why? Were all the recommendations from the independent study adopted? If not, why not? An efficiency review needs to be conducted before any additional police officers are hired. I encourage everybody to read the article and for the city to adopt the article's recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Well, yeah, what Mike said, I can't say any better, so I'm just going to leave it go with what Mike said. And that's it. I don't agree with the waste tax. I think it's unnecessary, and I think it's going to be we're trying to blackmail the city into believing that we need it to fight crime, and I don't think it does. And I agree with everything that Mike said, so there's no sense in keeping on.
Thank you, Mr. Belmagna. Mr. Diaretta. You told me you went under miscellaneous.
Oh, he brought it up at the
I was talking about the housing in 1984 with my good friend K.J. Massey. I'll talk about the windows over. Try to go to some of these houses and so forth and so on. Because I think we have too many downtown.
Thank you, Mr. Diaretta. That will conclude the miscellaneous reports from the members' council. We will now move into public forum. Is there anyone wishing to speak to city council on city business? Please come forward, state your name and address. Mr. Davis.
Hold on. Whoa. Slow down. I have something to say.
Get it on.
He wanted out of that. Is this working?
Yes.
You got batteries? We got batteries.
$10,000.
Okay, first of all, I'm a little taller than this. A few weeks ago, cooperation of Chief Billy over there, we got a lot of guns.
Would you please state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gross. You are. My name's Ron Cronauer. I live at 737 North Fifth Street. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Wow, another country. Thank you. Anyway, I want to compliment Bill County, Chief McCaffrey, a few weeks ago with a lot of guns. Drugs off the streets. I let it lay for a few weeks. I don't want to bring it up, but I've noticed coming up and down Fifth Street, because I live on the north end, I do business downtown every day, banks, drug stores, restaurants, and so on, that the police visibility has been greatly improved, and I want to thank you. I know it's not the total answer, and I'm not saying it is. But then police visibility, people are seeing that the police are out there, and I want to thank you for that. Fire department, I see many fire trucks going up and down the street. Hopefully, no one is hurt, but I know they're doing their job too. Secondly, I'll get off this mic. On this new water policy, whew, I just started reading over it tonight. I was at the last meeting here last week. I didn't get the whole gist of it. A new water line for every unit in Steubenville? Is this what I'm reading, or is this for new construction, or is this going to grandfather the buildings, the older buildings that are still there, which one line may feed 3 or 4 apartments? Now, every apartment is refuge charged, and every gallon of water that goes through the meter is paid for. I hope you're not saying that every old duplex or older home in Steubenville, Ohio has to have a new line. I'm hoping that's not what you're saying. I haven't read this completely yet. If so, it would be a disaster. Grandfather that in. Something in new construction, okay, the ground's already tore up, the wall's ready to go, all the new plumbing going on, I can perfectly understand that. I have no clarity on it, on that. Can anyone clear me on that at all? And I'll be done speaking. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Mr. Gold.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Part of the new policy that addressed the two-on-one, having lines coming off of other lines, service lines, and then having multiple lines coming off of a single service line. That is going to be something that we're not going to proactively go after, to change throughout the whole city. But if we were to encounter that, then we would bring that up to the owner, and those would need to be separated.
Thank you, Mr. Bowling, for that clarification.
The clarification on it is that I didn't get the last quite part of that.
They would have to be separated. If we encounter that out in the field,
and whether there's trouble with that water line, or it's old, or it's not properly, whatever, then we're going to replace that. Okay, thanks.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak to City Council on city business? Please come forward, state your name and address.
Russell Boggs, 307 Woodlawn Road. And actually, I'm only addressing Mr. Lucci and Mr. Bowling right now. I'm wondering what our plan is to get more business here. And I ask that because everything I've heard is not his budget, money, taxes. Yes, we need business. We definitely do. I'm not sure what you're doing to invite it. I came to you months and months and months ago. Got called in at all. Mr. Rappella told me I lost when the city sold our car. Now let me reintroduce myself to you. My name is Russell Anthony Boggs. I come from Florida. I decided to move to Steubenville. I like it. I decided to stay. Well, I come from an industry family of Greek shippers, the Kennedys. A few other lovely names since you like them. But on the other hand, finally my relatives are passing away. I'm absorbing that money now. Sell the city to me. You embarrassed me. You kicked me to the curb. You stole my car. You treated me like trash. Now tell me why I want to invest in the city and not take my money and go to weird.
Mr. Boggs, I have no idea why you would want to invest in the city other than I love this community. You should love this community too. I do know of your volunteering work at Pizza Pie Park of picking up rubbish in that area, and I think recently you received a thank you letter from my office for your efforts there. I can't convince you to love this community, but I can assure you I do love this community. The city of Steubenville has an economic development office. We rely greatly upon our Jefferson County Court Authority that we formed with Jefferson County, the city of Steubenville, and a private public partnership. They meet once a month. Mr. Evan Skirty is in charge of economic development. Mr. Bolin, would you like to follow it up with remarks?
I'd be happy to, Your Honor. Mr. Boggs, just to kind of summarize where the city is with economic development, it's extremely important. That's in a nutshell. But in fact, it's really how it's the game changer, how cities can move beyond their current and grow their tax base and not continually have the same or a growing burden on the same number of people. The city did join the Port Authority, helped create it. Actually, last year, we invested $5,000 in the Port Authority. 2015, we invested $15,000. And it was because we felt that it was, and I am speaking for council, that we for that importance on economic development, that we wanted to give that vote of confidence and encourage our Port Authority and their board, and I know some of those members are here tonight, of the importance and what we want and what we all want to put emphasis on is growing businesses. We have a downtown revitalization plan. We're going to be having a downtown is an enormous part of our economic development initiatives. We have an event that's planned mid-October, October 15th, in the downtown, where public investment is an important part too. Public entities can help to jumpstart economic activity. We can do so much. We hope the private sector then takes over and does invest in their properties and private property. But certainly initiatives and projects such as the Civic Plaza and the downtown streetscape are evidence of the city's desire to evaluate ways to invest in our community and hopefully generate more investment from the private sector. We've worked with the university on the University Franciscan Square, the University Boulevard Corridor project, an enormous project for the benefit of the city. And we've worked very closely with the Franciscan University. Major part of our initiative is what's called a Town and Gown initiative. And you see that in places like Kent State, the Kent State University in the city. Didn't work very closely together for many years. Now they do, and it's, if you've been there, but it's a tremendous, I think, example of economic development. So we're emulating that. We've had a lot of outreach to the university, and it's a very important partnership. So I could go on a little bit more, but I won't for sake of time. But I'm glad you brought up economic development, and I hope I hope you see that it is important to the administration and the council, and we're going to continue to be at it. We've got a very important meeting later this month, September 16th, I believe. I want to get that right. Frankie, our Economic Development Committee meeting, I think it's the 16th. And many of these projects we talked about. That's how we place importance on economic development, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to city? You are correct on the September 16th. Thank you. Date. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to city council on city business? Please come forward, state their name and address. Mr. Davis.
There's no further business before this council. I move that we adjourn.
It's been ready to